Hey guys! Today I'm going to be reviewing Reboot. And in honor of this occasion, I dressed like a reboot. Don't I look like a reboot? I'm wearing black. At least from what you can see, I'm wearing black. But we're not going to talk about that. If you have not read Reboot, don't worry. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm also going to talk a little bit about Rebel, but again, it's going to be spoiler-free. So, let's get started. Reboot is a very original take on the zombie apocalypse. Reboots are humans that have died with the KDH virus inside them, and an undetermined amount of time later, they reboot, which means they basically just wake back up like nothing happened. And the longer a reboot is dead, the faster and stronger they'll be, and the more easily they'll be able to heal. But being a reboot does have its drawbacks. They seem to have less emotions than normal humans do, or the lower numbered reboots. And Reboot follows Ren, who is the deadliest reboot because she was dead 178 minutes. The reboots are all controlled by Hark. For the last 5 years, Ren has been okay with following every order she's been given until Callum, a 22 reboot, comes along and changes everything. And when she's faced with the option whether to eliminate Callum or be eliminated herself, she takes the only course of action she can think of. And that's to disobey her orders and get them the hell out of Dodge. And at this point, Ren has developed feelings for Callum that she truly does not understand. And from what we can see of Callum in the beginning, he is really into Ren before he even knows her name. But Callum is funny, cute, and charming, and downright lovable. So it's no big surprise that he can melt the heart of a 178. This book is very fast-paced. Something was always happening, and it had plenty of action and humor to keep you reading. The only real problem I had with this duology is the fact that I would have loved to have seen the origins of the reboot, like how it first happened and why only Texas is left. I also would have loved to have seen Ren and Callum's relationship develop more in Reboot. The way she wrote Rebel in dual point of view was amazing. I loved it because you got to see both sides of the relationship. In this one, it's pretty much Ren, and though that's nice and all, I would have loved to have seen Callum and exactly what he was feeling while she was kicking his ass. Overall, this book was amazing. I just love this book series so freaking much. After I finished Rebel, I wanted to dive into the next book of the series. Sadly, there is no third book of the series, so yeah. I'm kind of going into like a little reboot withdrawal. Sadly, that's not going to make me an actual reboot, but you know, I'll live. If I don't, you know, I hope I reboot. That would be awesome if that happened, but I have to say that would be very terrifying. I think my favorite thing about this book was Ren and Callum's relationship because it was the perfect blend of funny and sarcastic. I rarely laugh out loud when I'm reading a book. I mean, Cassandra Clare's books and Rick Riordan's books being almost the only exceptions, there are maybe one or two standalones that make me laugh. And I'm happy to say that the Reboot duology is on the list of books that make me laugh out loud. I laughed so much during this book series. Could you call it a series? Is a duology a series? I'm going to call it a series. But I did not expect to laugh so much in this book, given the situation they were in. I haven't read many dystopians, but the ones I have read, they don't really make me laugh very much. I mean, Kenji from Shatter Me made me laugh in the last book, but otherwise I've never really laughed in a dystopian novel. And that's because the situation is normally very serious and there's little time for humor, but it was a sarcastic humor, so it played very well with the story. I was so satisfied with this ending, even though, like I said, I would have loved to have another book of this series. But this series ended in such a good way that another book really isn't necessary. But I love the story and the characters that I just want one so much. Or even a novella, anything. I would take anything at this point. Both of these books got a 4 out of 5 stars. If you guys have not read Reboot and you're looking for a good, fast dystopian read, I highly recommend this duology to you. And if you have read the Reboot duology and you're looking for something new from Amy Tintera, she does have a new trilogy out. The first book is Ruined, and it came out, I believe, last month. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I highly recommend the Reboot duology, really. Highly recommend the Reboot duology. Do it! The Reboot duology. Self-control. I need it. Self-control.